Page 799. The importance of trees, or man and trees, or afforestation. Trees are useful and beautiful gifts of nature. Forests help in maintaining the ecological balance which is so essential for prevention of life on this earth. Existence of man on earth therefore depends on forests. Carbon dioxide released by man are used by trees, while the oxygen released by trees are useful for men's life. Therefore, both trees and men are interdependent on each other. Forests provide immense wealth and riches for us. They yield timber and fuel wood, bamboos, canes, leaves, fruits, fibers, and grasses. The other useful products from forests are resins, precious herbs, and medical plants. They are also a great source of material for paper, rubber, gums, etc. Forests have a direct influence on the climate of a region. They induce rains and prevent air pollution. An area devoid of forests will go barren and turn out to be desert in course of time. The roots of trees bind loose soil and thus help in soil conservation. The top fertile soil is thus retained, which is so vital for agriculture. Arrest of soil erosion also prevents silting and raising of river beds and possible overflowing of rivers causing floods. Forest protects us from inclement winds too. With increase in population and rapid industrialization, random deforestation has taken place. This has resulted in dwindling rainfall, depletion in groundwater level, and occurrence of drought. Forests are nature's most precious gifts which feed us physically and aesthetically. They constitute the resource reservoir for human welfare, and their management should be planned on a global level. The socio-economic pattern of a particular continent or a country does get influenced by forests. Indiscriminate felling of trees thus depletes the forest wealth beyond redemption. The rehabilitation of forests, maintenance of proper forests, and ecosystem are therefore the only way left to us for our survival. With this end in view, a forestation program termed as Vana Mahotsav is observed with great enthusiasm every year throughout the country. The aim of this program is to plant as many saplings as possible to increase the forest wealth. In villages and countrysides where the poor people can hardly afford coal and gas as fuel, development of social forestry has been taken up. In this program, fast growing trees are planted so that their branches could be utilized as firewood by the villagers. Page number 898. Environmental pollution. Any abnormal change in chemical, physical, and biological characteristic of environment is called pollution. Environment pollution affects the air, water, and land around us and is a direct consequence of industrial progress. It is therefore more pronounced in larger cities and industrial belts. In these areas, the air gets polluted by the exhausts from automobiles and furnaces, industrial chutes, emission of smoke from factories, etc. Decomposition of garbage and other refuse makes the atmosphere heavy. Large-scale accumulation of carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide thus takes place in the air we breathe in. Green forests purify air, but with random felling of trees and percentage of these highly poisonous gases in the air increases. All these cause great damage to the health of living creatures. With development of industries, large amount of industrial and municipal wastes are discharged into rivers or lakes without any treatment. Thus, water gets polluted with toxic chemicals, resulting in the death of marine lives. Emissions from refineries float on seas, destroying marine lives and coastal vegetation wherever it strikes. Nuclear explosion and radioactive wastes pollute the atmosphere to an extent beyond imagination. Sound pollution constitutes one of the worst form of pollution hazards. When the pitch of the sound crosses a certain limit and become intolerable, the sound is said to cause pollution. High-pitched sound, continuous blaring of sound can cause physiological and psychological damage. They often lead to deafness, mental imbalance, and even heart failure. Indiscriminate use of microphones, shrill electric horns of motor vehicles, sounds emitting by trams, plying vehicles, aeroplanes, fireworks, and slogan shouting all contribute towards creating this noise pollution. So the air we breathe, the food we take, and the water we drink are not always healthy or pure. Steps have therefore been taken to root out the causes of pollution. People are being encouraged to plant more trees to purify air. Smokeless fuels are used for general consumption. Laws have been reformed to treat the effluents first before discharging them to rivers or lakes. Strict measures are taken to prevent emission of smoke from chimneys. Heavy penalties are imposed for violating the air pollution measures. Pollution control boards have been set up in each state to look into all aspects of pollution. The price of pollution could be the death of mankind. So, we must take every step to save this planet from environmental pollution. Page number 801. Communal harmony. Communal harmony is the need of the hour in India. The seemingly mindless communal tensions and bloody riots that take place occasionally create a sense of mistrust among the two principal religions. The country pays a heavy price for such disturbances through loss of life and property. The explosive situation arising out of the recent happenings in Ayodhya Babri Masjid issue has further underlined the need for communal harmony. India is a vast country with people of different religions and communities living side by side. Even though the seed of disharmony amongst the various communities was sown by the British government in pursuance of their policy of divide and rule, our national leaders were very particular about this and took great care to establish a secular state. It is the duty of every Indian to live in amity and to promote harmony and spirit of brotherhood amongst all, transcending religious, linguistic, and sectional diversities. But communal lists of various shades and categories, abetted by the fundamental forces, have constantly harped on differences and encouraged divisive trends. Even minor and apparently innocuous incidents sometimes arouse communal passions, provokes rioting, and causes widespread bloodshed. Indian culture has its inner strength in tolerance, respect for faith and beliefs of others, and a general attitude of understanding. All religions are true. Their difference lies only in their manifestations and observance. Unfortunately, some disturbing trends have appeared, and it has alarmed the saner sections of the society. Promotion of communal harmony is of paramount importance, and the country's salvation depends on it. If the nation wishes to make sound progress and consolidate its gain in the social, economic, political, and scientific spheres, communal harmony has to be ensured as a permanent feature of life. Evil forces try to destroy this should be crushed at any cost. 100. National integration. India is a vast country with different languages, religions, castes, and communities. Despite all these apparent diversities, there is a strong united bond that enables us to live together peacefully, identifying ourselves as Indians. It is this feeling of oneness that constitutes the very basis of national integration. After independence, however, some vociferous tendencies have started creeping in. Political freedom has brought in its wave new force of fanaticism which threatened to destroy the high concept of one country and one people. Loyalty to caste and community is given priority over devotion to the motherland. Linguistic fanaticism and chauvinism rises their ugly heads every now and then. Economic disparity breeds regionalism and mistrust. Regionalism and parochialism thus take precedence over national considerations. Page number 802. The question of boundaries and distribution of river water continues to strain relations between adjoining states. Then there is the problem of the tribals and the backward classes. Apprehensive of losing their identity, land and culture, and suffering exploitation, they now clamor for separate states of their own. They need to be brought in the national mainstream and allowed to participate in the process of economic development, maintaining their distinct culture at the same time. Communalism, an evil perpetrated by the British imperialists for their own interest, is still being forced by powerful and extreme conservative groups. Added to these are the activities of the extremists and terrorists who seek to create fear as well as sense of uncertainty all around, all in pursuit of a separate state for India. The forces of disintegration have already gathered strength. The crying need of the hour is national integration. All disruptive forces are to be attacked collectively and jointly and not in a piecemeal way. Socio-economic plan and programs should be aimed at ensuring uniform development of all the regions. The different regions must feel that they are not being discriminated against in any way. People all over the country must feel that only a strong and united India can bring happiness to us all. 101. Artificial satellites. A satellite is a celestial body that revolves round a mother planet. Artificial satellites are man-made satellites thrown into the space with the help of rockets and made to revolve in orbits around the Earth. It is practically a scientific laboratory fitted with sophisticated gadgets and instruments and sent to the outer space for various scientific purposes. Satellites play a major part in the modern communication system. They built instant communication links with different parts of the world. Radio waves, telecommunication, and TV signals are received by satellites and then transmitted back to the Earth with greater energy through the satellite's own transmitter system. This has revolutionized the modern communication technologies. Transmission of news, telephone communication, TV coverage across the world have become possible only because of satellite. Satellites fitted with powerful cameras and remote sensing devices send pictures of clouds and other meteorological data like rains, wind, air pressure, storm of the different parts of the world. This help in weather forecast. This is a great help in the field of navigation and aviation. From the image sent by satellites through remote sensing devices, scientists gather important information about crop and forecast weather conditions, groundwater location, cloud, location of mineral deposits, and other geological data. Agriculture is greatly assisted by timely dispatch of warning of flood and drought and detection of crop diseases. Satellites have thus ushered in a new chapter in the Application of Science for the Benefit of Mankind. Page number 803. 102 AIDS. AIDS stand for Acquired Immune Deficiency Syndrome. This has now become the most dreaded disease for mankind. Once a prey to it, there is no escape from death. AIDS has claimed 19 million lives the world over. The global AIDS epidemic shows no sign of abating. This has spread extensively to India also. At present, there is hardly any state which is totally free from this disease. The worst affected states are Maharashtra, Punjab, Kerala, Delhi, Manipur and West Bengal. AIDS is caused by a virus called Human Immunodeficiency Virus (HIV). This virus damages cells in the immune meaning defense system in a human body that fights off infections and diseases. As the virus gradually destroys these important cells, the immune system fails to protect a person against illness and ultimately he dies. The symptoms of the fatal disease takes about 4 to 5 years to become noticeable. The disease is marked by unexplained fever, loose motion, loss of weight, night sweats and excessive joint pains. This virus is spread through the blood, semen and vaginal discharges of an HIV infected person. People can get HIV infection when they contact with these fluids. Unprotected sex with an infected partner, use of infected needles, blood transfusion from AIDS victims are very common means of transmission of these virus. Also, HIV infected women can pass this virus to their newborns during pregnancy and childbirth. Although it is a transmissible virus, it is not contagious and it cannot be spread through coughing, sneezing or casual physical contact. Till now there is no cure for this fatal disease. Till an effective medicine is discovered, the best way to fight AIDS is to prevent the HIV infection. Safer sex, use of disposable syringes, precaution to use AIDS-free blood during transfusion should be strictly followed. A general awareness should be created amongst people about the danger and risks attached to AIDS. An all-out war is needed to stop its spread. 103. Corruption. By corruption is meant bribery, nepotism, misuse of public money for personal gains and other such offences. This has been a problem in different countries in different times. Corruption arises from moral deterioration. It breeds in the society in the open and in concealed forms. It is born out of the unholy wedlock between the bribe giver and bribe taker. Apart from the offer of money for immediate gains, corruption involves offer and reward at a later date, generally in an indirect form. Those who are in power misuse their authority. They indulge in favoritism, corruption, and illegal gratification. For example, a political leader may take monetary help from some people for contesting election and later he may gratify his helpers by giving some favors in the form of contracts, licenses, permits, loans or advances for business. Page number 804. The election process with a large section of people remain illiterate often depend on favors granted by the vote seekers. Votes are sought to be purchased by promises of favors with bleak employment opportunities. Men may seek any means to get a job and some people would try to exploit their needs. Favors and other benefits are distributed among those who either give bribes or who have the support of high officials. Injustice is done to the meritorious persons. Extraction of undue favor from unscrupulous people is also a corrupt practice. Weak-minded people are tempted to the allurements. Sometimes even honest citizens, when they do not get essential items from the normal source, offer money to obtain the same. Corruption is a serious blow to the moral standards. The law of the land in our country has enough provisions to deal with it. The defect lies more in the failure of the administration to supply such laws. Various investigation wings such as Anti-Corruption Bureau, Sadachar Samiti, Vigilance Commission, etc. are there at the state and central level to deal with corruption cases. But still there is a cynicism born in people's mind on this issue. It can be checked only by a constant public vigilance and exemplary action by the authority. 104. Terrorism. Terrorism means the subversive and destructive activities taken by recourse to by a group of people to coerce a government to yield to their demands. It is mostly used as a lever to advance a political aim. Terrorism made its ugly appearance in recent times in the West Asian political dispute between Palestine and Israel. The massacre of sportsmen in the Munich Olympic Village shook the whole world. Incidents of indiscriminate killing and blasting also took place in Ireland, Afghanistan, Myanmar, in the Indian subcontinent. Terrorism is the worst form was witnessed in Sri Lanka, causing loss of innumerable lives and properties. In India, divisive forces with abetment from outside include in acts of violent terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir with ulterior political motives. Our late Prime Minister Indira Gandhi and Rajiv Gandhi and Army General Vaidya fell a prey to the extreme acts of terrorism. Hijacking of planes, blowing up of railways and bridges, annihilation of bus loads of passengers, all are instances of terrorist activities that killed hundreds of innocent lives. The memories of the explosions of the Air Indian aircraft Kanishk in the mid-air still haunts us. Terrorists did not hesitate to attack Indian Parliament and temples all over the country. They even attacked American consulate building, killing innocent victims. Such wanton killing and destructions cause irreparable damages to the country. Normal life takes a battering as people live in a situation of panic and insecurity. The progress of the country suffers a great setback in absence of a congenial atmosphere. In fact, demoralizing effect engulfs every sphere of the nation's life, social, political and economic. Page number 805. Terrorism should be dealt with ruthlessly with unstinted courage and determination. A group of senseless people cannot be allowed to hold the country to ransom. Resurgence of life, works, hope, and above all, normalcy has to be restored and fear psychosis removed. Firmness and tact only will bring back a stable political and economic environment. 104. The Internet. The Internet has revolutionized the way people communicate with each other across the world. The Internet is a World Wide Web, WWW, of computers exchanging information with each other through telecommunication satellites and leased lines. Initially started as a defense project of the US government in 1968, the Internet's use has grown rapidly as a preferred medium of communication to the public at large. Recent estimate put the number of Internet users at 30 billion all over the world. it has three main uses: as a means of communication, as a mammoth storehouse of information of any kind, and as a new medium of commerce for buying and selling goods. Software applications like email, chat, instant messaging, and video conferencing have brought people living in far-off places together in a virtual world where distances do not matter anymore. Numerous websites and search programs can dig out any information at the click of the mouse from a large variety of sources, something that no user of the traditional library can ever hope to obtain. Electronic commerce, e-commerce, applications enable buying and selling of goods through virtual shopping centers and auctions. A person sitting in New York can purchase an item in an online store that can be delivered to somebody else in Kolkata in a matter of a couple of hours. It has become so popular because it provides information, communication, and entertainment in an economical and attractive manner. In our country also, people are rapidly opting for the internet in homes, offices, and cyber cafes. The internet is changing our life in a way that telephone and television did long time ago. The world is truly becoming a global village. 106. Computers in the service of mankind. Computer is the latest miracle that has ushered in a revolution in the application of science for the benefit of mankind. It is like a super electronic brain doing all types of difficult calculations, keeping records and storing data for us. Its main feature is speed and accuracy. It is an application which can do a job in seconds that would normally take days for hundreds of people to accomplish. It can store in its memory data records and millions of bytes of information which can be retrieved as and when required at the press of button. The modern world is undoubtedly a world of computers. Age-old system of keeping records in voluminous registers and files is gradually making way for computer-based data programming. Page number 806. It is used in schools, colleges, offices, banks, airlines, shops, laboratories, hospitals, and libraries. It is called upon to prepare electric bills, record telephonic conversations, send reminders to others. Computer-based telecommunication network sets up instant links with any part of the world at any time. Robots have replaced manual labor in factories. In the field of medical diagnosis and printing technology, computerized machines are doing wonders. The space flights would not have been possible without the application of computer science. In the West, computers dominate every sphere of man's life. India also is gradually moving towards a computer culture. Its presence has already been felt in railways, airlines, industrial, commercial establishment, banks, and telecommunication. Typewriters are gradually making room for computerized word processor. With a great thrust on computer education, best brains of engineering colleges and universities are now opting for computer science. Moves are also afoot to introduce computer education to school and college level. Even though computers yield great productivity, they have the potential to replace human labor and cause unemployment. India, with her unemployment problem, can ill afford to have such a situation. While we should go ahead and reap the positive benefits of large scale of computerization, we should also keep in mind the fact that under no circumstance should it be allowed to deteriorate the employment situation.